So I'll carry on with my sort of imaginary journey to work. And I've got just past the Anchor and Hope Lane junction. Currently, there's building work going on next to the large Sainsbury's. Temporary walls have been erected on the road, blocking off the pavement. The result is that pedestrians alighting from the bus stop a bit further up walk back towards traffic in the cycle lane, and the real risk being that this is on a bend, so it's quite possible not to see a pedestrian until really late. If there's a hasty vehicle behind me, that could be a recipe for disaster. I simply do not know how this could possibly have got permission, and I would really like someone to have a look at this, as from appearances it seems that it's intended to be there for some time yet. We all know about the Angerstein roundabout, sadly, and I don't think I can add anything more useful than has been said already. Other than that, I see it as totally unfit for purpose, a relic of urban planning from the last century that is totally unsuitable for the 21st. Heading into Greenwich, the road is narrower and the problems are all about the volume of traffic in a small space. HGVs unloading at the supermarkets in the morning cause big tailbacks, and drivers are impatient and agitated as a result. I lose count on any single morning of people using their phones at the wheel. There are also a number of small residential roads where drivers, fed up of waiting, regularly decide to turn in at the last minute, often forgetting to indicate. Slightly further on, Romney Road becomes 2 lanes. The earlier tailbacks tend to resolve therefore, but it's unpleasant because by that point drivers are impatient to speed up again. Once I get past Greenwich, I take the Q1 to Waterloo. I was really delighted when this route was announced, as it seemed to be a much better alternative than my previous route of the low road through Deptford and Bermondsey. There are a number of weak points on the Q1, but by far the worst stretch of this route is Childers Street, where something seems to have gone badly wrong with the planning. Rather than being planned so as to discourage vehicles, the opposite has happened, and it is used constantly as a rat run. It never fails to be an unpleasant stretch, but I've always put up with it, knowing that the rest of the route is comparatively pretty good. It was so very sad to hear what happened at this location, but as soon as I read the headline that an accident had happened on the Q1, I knew exactly where it would be. In recent months, I've thought about changing my route. I would love to use the Thames path, even though it would take me a bit longer, but I've found that parts of it are still blocked off by developers. I don't know how these things work, but I think to myself, well, surely these developers could have been required to maintain cycle route access as part of their building contracts. Cyclists are resilient and adaptable and used to making the best of what they are given. But with these 3 deaths, I really have felt at times like giving up. But if everyone gave up, we wouldn't get the changes that are so badly needed for the benefit of everyone, not just cyclists. I'm also aware that as a female cyclist, there are still unfortunately fewer of us taking part in this day-to-day activity. This is gradually changing, and although there is so much work still to be done for cycling generally, more women feeling safe enough to cycle to work is just one way in which the situation has improved in London. I've been cycling for 11 years and I've seen many positive changes, but progress in the outer boroughs is extremely slow, and Greenwich is a very good example of this. I understand that these issues are complex and some of them cultural as much as to do with local policy. I also know that there are people who have worked hard on facilitating the changes that have already happened or in trying to instigate future changes. I get the sense that this division of responsibility between TfL and local councils, which is absolutely mystifying for the general public, is also frustrating for people working in local government. But I don't doubt at times there is, as in all local governing, a certain amount of intransigence at play as well. But the bottom line is, like everyone else, I'm just interested in getting home safely. As a member of the public, I'm relying on the powers that be to get on and fix the issues that so clearly need to be fixed. Greenwich Council, please work with TfL to get this done. And if TfL aren't listening to you, then you need to shout louder or find different ways of getting heard. Thank you.